Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Zero to Empire podcast. I have Crystal with the Xtreme Core Fitness, and she's going to be going about her telling me about her experiences as well as her life's journey into getting to build the Xtreme Core Fitness brand. So, what actually inspired you to start that business?
Hi. Well, I was a high school teacher for quite some time, and I've always kind of struggled with my weight. In elementary school, I was teased a little bit because I was a little chunky. And then I grew really tall really fast. So I was tall and chunky. And then I was a big nerd. So that kind of made me stand out quite a bit. Um, when I started dating my now ex-husband, he was super fit, and I wanted to not be the fatty with the hottie. So I started to watch what I ate, started working out, and it was great. So for the wedding, I looked fantastic in all the wedding pictures. But when I got pregnant with my son, I gained 60 pounds and did not take that off for quite some time. You would think having an 8-pound baby would, let you lose the 8 pounds. It did not. I kept all 60 pounds somehow. And so, as I as the marriage went on and it started to get a little rocky, and I probably feel like a big part of that was my weight, actually. And so, when the divorce was gonna start happening, I decided, or a friend of mine actually from one of my teacher friends said, "Hey, Crystal, let's go try a group fitness class." And I thought, I don't want to look dumb. And she's like, "Just do one with me." And I said, "Fine." So I went with her, and oh my goodness, I fell in love with it. It was, you don't have to know what to do. You don't have to know what machines to, it's just a total body workout. And you have someone that tells you what to do. And, I was super overweight, huffing and puffing in the back of the class. And somehow the instructor says, "All right, we'll start counting when Crystal picks up her weights." And everybody looks at me like, "Hurry up and pick up your weights." And I'm thinking, how does she know my name? Why, what is happening? And so, but I thank God for that push, because that's what got me to keep going and push harder. Pretty soon I was in the middle of the class. And then, about a year later, I was up in front with her and just pushing it, dropped all the weight. And so then she left. She found another, well, she actually, anyway, she left. And I thought, oh, I can't find another instructor that pushes me the way she does. And I thought, well, this divorce is going to be final pretty soon. I don't want to have to downgrade my house or move, and it's going to be really hard to make ends meet as a single mom on a teacher's salary. So I thought, why not get certified? I had lost all the weight. I was in really good shape. I could push people the way she pushed me. And so I thought, why not? So I got certified. I thought, if I give one class a week, I'll make ends meet. It'll be just enough to, just let me have a little extra. And before you knew it, I started giving 6 classes a week. My classes were full. There was a long line for them. For the cycling classes, there was often it was too full. And I thought, well, this is pretty cool. So I paid off my car. I paid off all my credit cards. And I'm not a big spender of money anyway. So I was able to, um, pay everything off and have a pretty good budget. And I thought, what if I open my own gym? And everybody told me that I was ridiculous because I don't have a business bone in my body. I never went to school for business. My degree's in biochemistry. I was a science teacher. And I was like, I'm going to do this. So I saved for 3 years. I saved every penny I had. I wouldn't go out. I don't go out much anyway, but saved for 3 years, tried to research as much as I could, created something called projections, and would go to every bank with my little notebook. And every bank told me no. And I was finally about to give up, actually. And one of the banks said, they told me no. And it was like a nonprofit, but they said, listen, there's this other nonprofit coming up in Austin, and they're trying to move into El Paso. Try them. So I told my son was like 7 at the time. And I said, son, this will be the last one I do. If they tell me no, we'll take the money I saved. We'll go see Paris. And he was like, cool. So he's still waiting on a trip to Paris. He's still waiting on that. But I got the loan and I never looked back. And here we are.
That's awesome. I'm glad that you were able to take your difficulties and make it into a solid business that you enjoy to do and actually change other people's lives. And so, with that, how did you actually overcome your own challenges with weight and mental health shape your actually approach to fitness and business?
Yeah, so that was a big thing for me when I went through my divorce. Um, I went into a serious depression. I was about to be 30. My life at 30 was not what I expected it to be. I thought I'd be pregnant with my second or third child, we'd be doing great. Instead, I was getting a divorce, about to, or divorced, a single mom. It just wasn't what I thought my life was going to be. So, and actually the whole life, before I got pregnant, I was in a PhD program and I was going to be a scientist. And, my life just wasn't what I thought it was going to be. And so it took me a while. I went deep into a pretty bad depression. I was sad a lot. I was just, and so even, this gym was kind of a godsend to me. And more so now, after all these years, it taught me how to be resilient. It taught me how to use physical fitness to take care of my mental fitness. And so actually when COVID happened, so I opened the gym in 2015 and Forrest Gumped my way through. I mean, again, didn't know anything about anything, had learned the hard way for a lot of things. But by hard way, I mean like fines, like Texas Comptroller would fine me because I thought, well, I don't have the money to pay it, so I'm just not going to file. No, always file. You can pay later and take the fine for paying later, but you'll take a bigger fine if you don't even file. So just little things like that I had to learn the hard way, right? And so the resilience that I had to learn with that, right? And everyone would say, okay, you went and opened your gym, just 5 years. If you stay in business for 5 years, you'll make it. And I thought, okay, 5 years, here I go. And I made it somehow work. And that's why if people don't believe in God, let me tell you some of these stories. Tell you this one real quick story. It was about less than a year in. I was still teaching and running the gym at the same time, but I had maxed out every credit card I had. I had maxed out everything, and I had to make payroll, and I was short $600. And I thought, what am I going to do? It was like, I think it was either the next day or 2 days. No hope for $600 anywhere. And I was just sitting at the front office and I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. So this man walks in with 2 younger boys and he's a rough looking guy. So he comes in and he's like, how much for the membership? So I'm all bubbly and I'm like, well, let me show you around. So I show him around the gym and he's with this, again, the 2 younger boys are like 19 years old. He's about mid 40s. So we come back to the front. He's like, all right, well, how much is it? And I said, well, is it for you, for all 3 of you? He goes, well, me and my son. He says, I'm a truck driver. I'm out of town a lot, but doctor says I need to do something. And he grabs his belly. And then he's like, but my son will be here all the time. He loves to work out. I said, okay, cool. And he goes, and I said, not this other boy. He's like, no, just me and my son. I said, okay, well, monthly, at the time, our monthly membership was like $29.99, right? Or 30, yeah, 29 or 35. And then he's like, well, how much for the whole year? And at the time it was $279 plus tax. And he goes, son, go get my wallet. He goes, me and my son for the year. Well, with tax, it comes out to $606. He laid it in cash on my counter table. And I thought, holy cow. Now, the craziest thing that I still get chills for every time I tell this story, I never saw either one of them again. They never stepped foot in my gym again. So it was things like that got me through. Miracles, because it makes no mathematical sense. But I get to finally the 5 years. And if you add, 2015 plus 5, you get the 2020. And so right when it looked like it was going okay and I was going to make it, I mean, it all crashed to hell. And that's when, again, my resilience was tested. Everything was tested. I had to really adapt. One of the things I did was with my cycling bikes, I went and rented them out to people's houses. And my front desk manager at the time, her dad had this little truck, like a little truck that would fit like 3 bikes. So we would load up the 3 bikes, take them to people's houses, and then I would give virtual classes. Applied for every grant that I possibly could. I have a very good relationship with the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. The director loves me a lot, thankfully. And so anytime a grant would show up, she would call me and be like, Crystal, one just popped up, apply for it. Yes, ma'am. So that helped me. But after COVID, when things started getting back to normal, a lot of gyms started popping back up. And so I really had to differentiate my product and service. How am I going to be different from all the other gyms? And for me, mental health is such a huge thing, especially after COVID. Everybody's so depressed. And even now, even to this day, the depression and anxiety are through the roof. The suicide rates are through the roof. And so for me, it was such a life-changing thing to include fitness, right? Because it helped me get through everything I was going through. So I thought, I'm going to create programs that not only help people lose weight, but help people develop a more positive mindset. And that is what really has and is distinguishing me amongst the other gyms.
Yeah, that's great to be focusing on mental health, as a lot of other gyms don't necessarily focus on that, and just more on the physical strength side of things, and also just becoming more fit.
Mm-hmm.
And so, can you actually explain more about the mental health component of your programs and why it's such a vital part of your approach?
Sure. So it started really with what I call a mental health Saturday cycling. And that actually started way before COVID. That started, I believe it was about 2017, maybe 2016. One of my members came in and said, Crystal, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to cancel. My sister-in-law just committed suicide, and she was a Border Patrol agent, and she left behind 3 children. And I have to help my brother. And I thought, well, it just hit me so hard, because what if I could have helped her? What if she could have, taken these classes? And just for me, cycling, yes, it's a great cardio workout. Yes, it's great for legs. But the mental health that comes from cycling, you just let it all out on the bike. It's just you and the bike, and you go and you just feel so much better afterwards. I've done research on it. It opens capillaries in the brain, allows for more oxygen to the brain. You think better, you feel better. Those endorphins are through the roof. And so I just felt I had this just huge gut like feeling that I could help people with mental health, even by offering one free class a week. And so I thought, if someone either can't afford the gym or they don't want to commit to like a full, membership, once a week, just once a week, you don't have to, again, it's free. You come, you do it, and you just feel better. And so I started that, and it was just a free class, and I would give the class, right? And it was just a normal cycling class, but free. And I called it Mental Health Saturday Cycling. And then it started evolving into, oh, you should see what it is now. It's now a 2-hour class. Currently, for tomorrow's class, there are 6 people on a wait list because it's all packed out. It gets full the week before or even before, because you have to reserve it online and everything so that people know if they got a bike or not. And it's just really, people have told me over and over that it has changed their lives, because the way we run it, the way we do it now is, for the warm up, I tell everyone, set the intention. What do you want to get out of this class? What do you want your body to look like? How do you want your mind to feel? Okay, so then we warm up. Then after the warm up, we stretch. And then I say, okay, for the next song, I want you to really focus on whatever's weighing you down, whatever's heavy on your shoulders, whatever keeps you up at night, whatever is bothering you just so much. Think about it. Like, give it the attention that it deserves. And that way you heal from it. That way you get it out of your system. And now you can focus on the good. So I tell people, it's like we're emptying our cup of all the negative stuff so that we can fill it. But let's empty it. Let's get that out. And so I play a song, and then I'm silly. So sometimes the song is, I tell them, I know it's a really fun song and it's hard to be angry through the song, but let's get angry. So then we push through. I use this awesome system called Spivvy. So there's a screen up top. Everyone can see their resistance. Everybody can see how fast they're going. Everyone can see how many calories they're burning. So then we get a little competitive, and we're, trying our best to push hard. I'm very careful with my new people, though. I tell them, go at your own pace, do what you can, because the last thing I want to do is hurt someone and then they can't come back. So we do that for the next song, and we just release all that negative energy, and you feel it, and after that song, I say, all right, now do you feel how much better you feel? It's gone, it's out. We need to heal from this stuff. So then after that, the research shows that happy people are grateful people, right? So, and that's what really helped me get out of my depression. So We go around the room and everybody says what they're grateful for. Now, people that are brand new to the class, I do give them the option because they weren't expecting, they had to share, and some people don't like to share. But like 99% of the time, they share. So we say what we're grateful for, and it's become such a tight-knit community. People cry, I mean, it's just their release, and they say they need their Saturdays. One girl broke her foot and she still kept coming. She got a mat and just sat there in the center. She's like, I need my Saturdays. So then we do a song, and then after the song I learned this thing from a TED Talk, and I've seen other motivational speakers do it, but you put your hands over your heart, and with all your energy, you send these good vibes to people. So you first think of the person you love the most, right? You close your eyes and you picture their face and hear their laugh. And then you send them, I hope you are happy. I hope you are healthy. I hope you feel safe. I hope you feel loved. And then we do the same thing. So we switch it with a picture of yourself. And now you do that for yourself. And then we do it for a coach or a mentor or a friend that helped them through a difficult time. And then we do it with just a random person, maybe someone from your childhood you hadn't thought of in a long time, maybe someone you saw in line at the store, just a random person, right? And then we do a difficult one. It's someone that has harmed you in some way. I tell everyone, understand they weren't at their best when they did this to you, and they probably need these vibes more than anyone else. So we do it for them. And then we do it for just any person that's ever come into our lives, past, present, future, and we send those vibes out. And then we open our eyes and you feel it in the room. And then we do a song, and then we end with like a little message from me. So I listen to some awesome inspirational motivational coaches, and I listen to them throughout the week. I immerse myself in them, and so I'll get something from that. And I say, before class and when I wake up in the morning, I ask that whatever someone needs to hear that day, that I just kind of come up with it and say it. And it happens. It's the craziest thing. But anyway, so then we do that, and then we end the class. And so that's turned into something beautiful. And that's free. That's free every Saturday, right? But the gym is a business and I have to get paid. So then the programs that I've created are pretty cool. They're weight loss programs. And so I have a 28-day and a 6-week, and we call them a challenge or a self-discovery journey. And so I teach, I give exercises, and I just have made these programs virtual for specifically people that weigh 300 plus pounds. That's another whole story of why that's near and dear to my heart. But that program, I am recording myself doing workouts sitting down, because I had one lady say, I can't do all the crazy stuff you do. And I said, okay, I'll make them so they're not crazy and so that they're doable. So I record myself doing these 30-minute workouts on a chair that are doable for anyone that is 300 pounds plus, or limited mobility, or 55 or older, that they can't do all the crazy stuff. So I have those recordings. They get it through a program, through an app. And then in the evening, they get a question every evening. And the question is designed to self-discover, to discover who they are, especially at different points in your life. I'm a very different person than I was in my 20s than I was in my 30s, right? And so it's good to reflect. And so they either journal it or they answer me. Most of them like to answer me. And so it's 6 weeks of this journey of self-discovery with questions, and with the first 2 weeks are just basic. The second 2 weeks kind of get into some limiting beliefs. And then the last 2 weeks are more, hey, this stuff really helped me when I was going through it, like declutter. What are your strengths? So it goes more into like now the positive once the negative is out. Then I created these other 21-day programs. They go with a book. So one of them goes with the book, The 4 Agreements. Those questions get very, very deep. And so it's, again, a journaling activity. The other one is with Atomic Habits, because I thought the book was awesome, but I wanted a way to implement everything. And you kind of need a coach to keep you accountable. So that's what those programs. So all these programs come with accountability, and they all come with a meal plan that I stay on your ass about it. And you have to send me everything you eat before you eat it. So pretty comprehensive, pretty well-rounded. And yeah, so those are the programs that I have now.
That's awesome that you're able to have so many programs. That's great to hear. That you can actually do anywhere from obese people to just people trying to get more fit. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And what's actually been your most successful program so far, and why do you think it has resonated so well?
Well, I get told this a lot. The basic 6-week program, that initial one, is just people tell me it's life changing. It's the one that gets them started, gets them going. The biggest or the most success, the reason why they're so successful, they tell me, is the accountability. The fact that I'm on them so much, and they have to send me pictures of their food, and they have me to answer to, that I'm and they see that I actually care, because I actually care, and they so many people come to me with all these walls, and they're thick, like high, thick walls, and I just I have been given such a gift to chip away at them, to have the patience to chip away at them, to let them it, to let them trust me. Their trust have been broken so many times, and so they at first are a little wary, and they're scared, and but as they get to know me, and as they see the how I interact with everyone else, they're like, wow, so the trust and then the weight just falls off. The meal plan that I designed is just phenomenal. It's from a book I read called Choose More, Lose More, and I developed this whole Google form, and then I learned Excel when I was in the 5th grade, and when you learn basic Excel, holy hell, you can do so much with it. So I create I've moved the form that they answer, so it's foods that they like. It's not like tuna and grapefruit the whole time. It's real food, and it's what they like. And then I put it into this really cool system. So I get these menopausal women that are like, nothing works. I've tried every diet, nothing works. And I'm like, just try it. And they're like, fine, but I'm telling you right now, nothing works. And then 2 weeks in, they've lost like 4 pounds already, and they're like, okay, wait, what's going on? I'm like, I don't know, just keep doing it. It works. And, down the line, they lose the 10, 15 pounds in the 6 weeks. And they're like, oh my God. And then they just stay with me because the classes are fun, and we're all a little bit silly, and we're all, just really there to love each other and support each other. And it's just an awesome environment. So they stay. So it's awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome that you're making it so personal and make it so that they actually like the food compared to not, because that's definitely the hardest part about dieting is cutting out what you don't like, or
Right.
like you're going to stuff that you don't like. So it's good to keep things that you do like and just make it taste better and more healthy.
Mm-hmm.
And so, what kind of advice would you give to someone thinking about starting their own business, especially in the fitness industry?
So it's needed, but you need to find a niche. One, you need to find something that's different. You need to do it because you care. And what's crazy is that most of the people that go into the fitness industry is because they care, is because they want to help people, is because, like me, they had this transformation and they saw how much fitness changed their life for the better, right? And so they want to go and help everyone else, and that is awesome. Do it. Do it. Don't even think about it. Just do it. If you're like me that had zero business experience and you had to kind of just, again, Forrest Gump your way through it, do it. The more you research what you have to do, the more scared you're going to get, because it's a lot. It's a lot. It's crazy. I can't even, it's crazy, but do it anyway, because the lives that you will change and your own life it's worth it. It's worth it, but stick to it. Read all the books, listen to all the podcasts. Just, you know, the last thing I knew more than anything, that if I would have not done it and I would have gotten to the end of my life, I would have looked back and that I would have regretted it, because I wanted this gym so badly. I was getting ready to find a way to sell my left kidney on the black market. I was going to open this gym. I didn't know how I was going to do it, but I was going to do it. Maybe the foot thing on the whatever, not whatever. Let's not get too crazy there. But I would have the kidney thing on the black market. I would have done. And so when you're that passionate and you really want to help people, and you know in your heart that you can help people, you'll figure it out. But just get started.
Yeah, it's important just to get started and just keep on going, figure it out while you go, or have a mentor that would help you out. That's
Mhm.
definitely key to help you not make a lot of these mistakes in the beginning.
Right.
And when it comes to your dream gym, what would it look like if scaling in a budget weren't actually limitations for you?
Oh my goodness, what a question. I was actually just talking to Josie about this morning, but in New York, they have this, like, it's not a commune, but it's a huge business, kind of like think of a food court, right? And so it has all these businesses that are like, let's say, linked to wellness, right? Every business has something to do with wellness. But not only do they all have to do with wellness, they also have like a mentorship program for every business that rents a space in that big building, right? And in that, they teach them ways of how to scale, how to market, so they not only do they rent the space, but they also have all this education that comes with it. And I think that is so cool. So my ideal would be like this just huge building that I rent space to different wellness businesses, anything from acupuncture and mental health, like huge, a lot of stuff to do with mental health. The gym, of course. And then childhood obesity is a big thing because I struggled with it so much and I was teased so much. So a whole like section to not just have kids, because kids are going to go to the little daycare that they have and be on a phone the whole time, right? No phones allowed. And there's like an instructor for kids, and they, because PE is, I don't even know if kids have PE anymore, but so something like that with the kids, and then the parents are doing it. And then my son loves the rock walls, so I want a big old rock wall thing, and just a place full of fitness, mental, physical, nutrition, like a meal prep kit. Well, I already have a meal prep kitchen, but another, like a bigger meal prep kitchen. And then just where we all come together, all the business owners, and we sit and we collaborate and we share ideas on how to grow the business, and we bring in experts that mentor us on how to grow the business. And it just, yeah, it'd be awesome.
Yeah, that sounds like the best gym out there for sure. Can't wait for you to build it in the future. And what type of books or podcasts or mentors were actually particularly impactful for your entrepreneurial journey in building the business?
So that's super important. I didn't grow up with a lot of mentors or examples. I had more cautionary tales of what I didn't want to do or be. So I really had to find my own. And I don't remember who, but thank God for that person. My real first mentor was this man, Bedros Keuilian. He's amazing. Please look him up and follow him, do all the things. He's the one that has gotten me through this whole thing. I got to meet him in October. Like I've never been so nervous in all my, I'm 8 feet tall. Okay. 8 feet. Nothing scares me. I opened my own business without knowing anything. Nothing ever scares me. I almost fainted when I met this man. Like my face contorted. My friend was like, "What is wrong with you?" She's trying to take a picture of us, and my face, like it just did something funky. And then I made him nervous, and he was like, "Oh," and I was like, "Ah!" It was insane. But anyway, got to meet him in October for his event, BK Live. But he's amazing. Tony Robbins is the goat of all of this. So I was just attending his live summit, his Time to Rise summit. He is incredible, and he does so much good. And then Ed Milet is another one that I follow, that I get a lot of really good stuff from my mental health Saturdays and just mindset, positivity stuff. Alex Hormozy has some good stuff on business. And then there's the books. I think Outwitting the Devil is the one that helped change my perspective the most and helped me start letting go, or realizing all the limiting beliefs that I had, and start letting them go, which is something I'm working on now. And then Think and Grow Rich. So they're the same. Napoleon Hill wrote both those books. And so Think and Grow Rich is another really good one. And then Rich Dad, Poor Dad is a really good one when you're looking to learn about finances. Because again, zero business, zero money, anything. Money was always a very limiting belief for me. And so I'm working through that. And then Bedros has his book, Man Up. Excellent. Ed Milet has his book. He has a couple, but I read The Power of One More. That's really cute. And from that one, I actually got how to run these goal setting sessions to help people set goals and accomplish them. And so I host those also on Saturdays. But those three guys for sure. Those books, I'm reading right now a book called Influence. That one's pretty good. So just read, and immerse yourself in these positive podcasts.
Yeah, that's a solid list, and definitely know about Alex Ramosi and Tony Robbins, very solid figures in the space.
Mhm.
And yeah, I appreciate you being on the podcast, your experiences, your insights, very it's inspirational, honestly. And I'm glad you're actually able to build such a successful business out of it all. And so, where can they actually reach out to you if they would like to do business with you?
Yeah, I would love that. So we have our Facebook page, Extreme Core Fitness, no E, so XTREME. And then we have our goodness. And then we have our Instagram page, which is also Extreme Core Fitness. And then we're on YouTube. I'm not posting that much on YouTube. All the workouts that I'm making are right now separate for the program that I'm doing. And then we have our TikTok, if TikTok stays up. And then we have, but Facebook and Instagram. And then we have our website, which is www.extremecorefitness.club. And that has a lot more information on the different programs that I have if you look under services. And then it has some stuff about our kitchen. We do stuff a little differently where we individually vacuum seal everything, which is really cool. Yeah, so that's mainly where you can find everything.
That's great. Everyone go check her out. Go if you're in the Texas area, make sure to go to El Paso area and go to her gym. It'd be an awesome little workout for you. And yeah, it was great having you on the podcast. And for everyone watching or listening in, I'll see everyone on the next podcast of Zero to Empire.